Hello, students. Good morning. In our last class, we have read about how towns developed during the medieval period and what were the different kinds of towns that developed during the medieval period. So, we have read up to temple towns. Today, we are going to read about commercial towns. So, which are commercial towns? The towns which are famous for business and commerce, those towns used to be called as commercial towns. Okay, under commercial towns there were two types. One was port towns, one kind was port towns, another kind was trading towns. So let us read about it. India is surrounded by seas on its three sides. From the ancient period, it has carried out trade with Southeast Asia, West Asia, China, and Europe through sea routes. So we know that India is surrounded by seas, right? From the three sides, we have Arabian Sea, then we have Bay of Bengal, and then we have Indian, Then we are surrounded by seas and oceans, right, from all the sides, right? And from the ancient period it carried out trade, and from the ancient period it used to do business with other countries through the sea routes. Okay, it used to do various kinds of business and trades through the sea routes. Okay, to provide services to the traders and manufacturers the goods required by them. Many workers and craftsmen settled around the ports. Foreign traders, including the Arabs, Persians, Syrian Christians and Europeans, also settled around these forts. So what happened? For the purpose of trading, to earn the purpose and to help the traders, and for the manufacturing purpose, many craftsmen, many workers started settling down near those ports. Okay, ports, the place near the sea. Okay, where the sea ends and from where the land start, that place is called as seaport, where the ships comes, and where the ships are being kept, those places are called as port, right? So those places were very important for trading purpose, and various industries, small scale industries and craftsmen, to help the traders, and for various purpose workers and craftsmen started settling down near those ports. Okay, and also outside Indian, the foreigner like Arabs, Persian, Syrian Christian, Europeans also started settling down on those ports. Okay, this led to the growth of a large number of port towns both on the eastern and western coasts of India, and obviously this led to development of some port towns. As people started settling down on those places, gradually those places turned into port towns. Okay, on the western coast of India, Surat, Broch, that is known as Baruch, Kembe, Sopara, Debhol, Sandapur, Bhatkal, Calicut, and Cochin became important seaport. Masulipatam, Sadgaon, Sonargaon, and Chittagong were important port towns on the eastern coast of India. So these were the important port towns during the medieval periods. Okay, you got the name of the famous port towns of eastern coast, and you also got the name of famous port towns or popular port towns or important port towns of western India as well, right? So I hope you have understood port towns. Now we are going to know about another kind of commercial town, that is trading towns. So during the medieval period, several small towns emerged from large villages. These towns usually had a Mandapika, Mandi. Here, buyers and sellers of nearby and distant villages gathered to buy and sell their products. So, we know during the medieval period, various small villages turned into towns. Okay, so in those towns there used to be one mandi is a place where buying and selling of different products like vegetable, fish, meat, groceries takes place. And what happened in those mandis, people from distant villages also used to come and sell things. Okay, they also had market street lined with shop called hatta or hut, and again they had market where the shops are placed in line. Those places were termed as hut. Okay, these towns also had separate street for different kinds of artisans such as potters, such as potters, well pressers, sugar maker, toy makers, blacksmiths, etc. The item of trade included saffron, salt, spices like pepper, camphor, betel nut, horses, and cattle. So, in those towns there were different lanes for different profession. Okay, people of different profession used to stay in different lanes. Okay, different streets. Okay, and there what they used to deal in various items like saffron, salt, spices, animals, etc. So these towns were mainly popular for the purpose of trading. Okay, generally a trading town developed as the result of the product found in the particular region, nearby ports or major trade routes. Kasim Bazar in Bengal and Ahmedabad in Gujarat were famous for cotton and silk textile. Kabul and Kandahar, presently in Afghanistan, were the centers of horse and silk trade. So these places became famous for some particular products, okay, which are important, and those products were produced on those region or nearby port area, and there should be a route port. It should be a sea route or trading routes. Okay, so in Bengal, Kasim Bazar was popular for it. Kasim Bazar and Ahmedabad were popular for Kasim Bazar was popular for cotton and silk. Same, Ahmedabad was also popular for cotton and silk. And in Afghanistan, Kabul and Kandahar, which were in India at that time, now presently these places are in Afghanistan. They were famous for horse and silk trade. So these were two of the famous commercial two of the important commercial towns. Okay, now we will know about taxes on markets. They used to also take taxes from market. Then who used to take taxes? Usually a samanta or a zamindar imposed taxes on traders, artisans, and articles of trade. He sometimes gave the right to collect taxes to local temple authorities. The taxes were collected both in kind and in cash. So, in exchange of those trade and or as people were allowed to do trading, they had to also pay tax in exchange of doing the trading. Okay, so zamindar or the samantas, they used to impose tax on them. They used to impose tax on trader, also on artisan, and also on the product they used to sell. Okay, and he sometime the jamindar also sometime allowed the temple authorities to take the tax. Okay, taxes were collected in the form of work or all in the form of cash also. They used to take things also, or sometime people used to do some work from the for them, and so or in sometime they used to pay it in the form of cash. Okay, now we will know about the traders from the medieval period. Okay, there were many kinds of traders ranging from very big merchants to petty hawkers. People from all castes joined the trading profession because it was central to the medieval economy. It was the trading community that promoted crafts and urban growth. The important trading communities includes Chetiriyas of Tamil Nadu, Marwari Oswal of Rajasthan, the Khatris of Punjab, the Bohras of Gujarat, Hindu Baniyas. So there, let us understand, there were many types of traders. Okay, some were very big merchants, very big businessmen, and some were hawkers. Hawkers are those who used to visit place to place to sell things. Okay, people from all the caste, upper class, lower caste, from all the caste used to do trading. Okay, because it was very important part of medieval business, medieval economy. Okay, so this trading community also encouraged crafts, and this also encouraged the growth of urban life. Urban growth means towns also grew because of these trading communities. Okay, so some names were given to you of the different trading communities, big trading communities of India. Okay, so they traded both within the country and with foreign countries. So this businessman used to trade in India. Also, they used to trade with outside other countries also. These things are happening till today, right? But it started during the medieval period. Okay, they traded extensively with the ports of Red Sea, Persian Gulf, East Africa, Southeast Asia, and China. They sold mainly textiles and spices in these ports. In exchange, brought gold and ivory from Africa and spices, tin, Chinese blue pottery, and silver from the Southeast Asia and China. So they used to buy various, they used to sell textile, means cotton, silk, cloths, these things. And spices to the other countries, and they used to brought, in exchange of this thing, they used to buy gold, ivory from Africa, and spices and other things they used to buy from China. Okay, East Asia and China. They were also interested in banking and money lending. They also gave large donation to the religious organization. The big influential merchants were called Nagar Shreshtis. So as they used to deal in money, that is why they were very much interested in banking and money lending. It was another kind of money lending, was another kind of business for them. Okay, and they were very rich, so they used to give donation to the religious organization, to the temple, etc. And the big and rich merchants of that time were called as Nagar Kshetrish. Shreshtis. Okay, Nagar Shreshtis. Then we are going to now read about another kind of traders. Those were the Banjaras. Okay, very important. Banjaras were also an important trading community. They were nomad traders. So what are nomad traders? Nomad traders were the traders, those who don't have a permanent address. They used to move from one. Now we are going to read about another kind of important trading communities. Those were the Banjaras, very important. The Banjaras were also an important trading community. They were nomad traders. So who were Nemot? The people who move from one place to another place and who don't have any permanent address in search of work. They move from one place to another place. So they generally traded in foodstuffs. So they used to sell things from one place to another place. Okay, so they generally used to trade in rice, flour, buttermilk, vegetables, and sugar. Okay, they bought this product from peasant who had to pay their taxes on land in cash. So they used to buy these things from the peasant, from the farmers. Okay, the trader, especially traders, formed association with the headmen to negotiate with warriors who brought horses. Again, they used to buy horses, and they used to negotiate it with the warriors who deals with wars, and they used to also sell horses. So they used to sell rice, sugar, and those things. They used to buy those things from the farmers and sell it, and carry those things to the towns, and they used to sell them on the towns. And they also used to deal in horses. Okay, the trader usually traveled in caravans. They used to trade in caravans in group. They used to travel, and they had their own type of bullock carts and all. And they used to travel in caravans and form guilds to protect their interests. So no, they to protect themselves from dacoits and all these things, they used to travel in groups. Okay, this was because they had to pass through many kingdoms. They had to pass through many kingdoms and forests. Some of the famous guilds of South India were the Manigramam and Navadasi. So these were the name of the group of Banjaras. This guild traded both within India and with Southeast Asia and China. Foreign traders, for example, Arab, Persian, Chinese, Jewish, Syrian, Christians, traders often they Syrian Christian sorry traders often came to India to trade in Indian spices like pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, dried ginger, etc., and cotton cloths, which was in high demand in European market. They eventually attracted European traders towards India. So various foreign traders also used to come in India. They were also Banjaras, and they used to sell spices like pepper, cinnamon, nuts, etc. And also they used to sell different cotton cloths to the European market. Okay, so and also they attracted so they used to sell cotton clothes which were very much in high demand in European markets, and that is how European traders were also attracted towards India. Okay, so this much for today. About the craftsmen we will read in our next video. Okay, so thank you, students.